start with the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Here.
May.
Here.
Here.
All right, we'll start with the first item of business is the minutes from our past meeting. Any motion to approve the minutes?
I received a copy last evening, read them over, and motion to approve.
All in favor of approving the minutes?
Aye.
So moved. All right, next item is the, we'll do, you want to do it separate?
Could I just ask one point before I know what's going on again? Is there ever a resolution, a written resolution passed regarding changing of precinct committee counting of absentees to central election?
That would be unanimous vote.
Well, my question wasn't that. The question was there a written resolution issued to that effect, signed and sent down to the state election board?
And you can speak to this.
No, there was not. And you were correct, you've spoken about that before, and your concerns about that, and it is true, correct, that in order to formalize that, it does require the adoption of a written resolution by the board that's been sent on to the election division. In addition, there are also timing requirements as to that, and you're prohibited from adopting that resolution. I think it was any 60, you can't adopt it between 60 days from the date of the election and 14 days.
That's exactly right. Madam Clerk, would you reconsider the effect of that motion? Unanimous decision, I understand, but so that we can readdress it in a way that isn't void.
Can I ask a question first? Since we passed the 60-day timeframe for the primary, can we do the written resolution to make it timely enough for the agenda?
The statute itself speaks to election. I will look into that issue as to whether, in a lot of situations, if you do something in the primary, you have to continue to do the same in the general. I will confirm that and go back to you.
I mean, obviously, we don't have a time restriction for November, so we've got plenty of time for our written resolution to administer at that point. But if we can't move forward with the agenda, we can bring this resolution next year. That would not be well within our time.
The only other issue I had was I looked at the notice agenda and you didn't mention it. So there's an open door law problem. I would not like to get sued under the open door law.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, you can always revise your agenda
I
after
think it's
your
an election
agenda, but
that's
there's
done.
no, I mean, at the end of the day, setting that aside, it has to be a written resolution, so we will revisit that. There will not be counting of absentee ballots and such litigation.
Thank you, Chairman.
Like I said, make sure to check into the issue if we could.
I will do that, and I will report back to you as soon as possible.
And like I said, that's just around the two administration.
Right.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Madam Clerk.
For Jeff, for your complaint, I think we should separate them to the original complaint.
Okay.
So let's start with that one first.
Okay. Mean the failure to report the report?
Correct.
Okay. Okay.
Go ahead.
Jeff Kister, 487 West, 700 North, Valparaiso, Indiana. As I stated last month, I felt it was important that we basically send a message, the selection board sends a message to all these people that have not filed their reports in a timely fashion, that this is no longer going to be tolerated. I think the quickest way to go ahead and make that a more sincere concern and that request of the candidates would be to weigh that option on that $1,000 fine, that $50 a day, up to $1,000. So I still stand by that. If you feel that other candidates are within violation of this, and whether regardless of their Democrats or Republicans, I have no issue with that. It's your call.
Kendra, if you want to come back up and readdress the issue, it's up to you.
We file it as soon as we get the records again.
Is this on the lateness of the report?
Yes, yes.
Not the,
If,
Could I just ask you a question?
yes, yeah, I, no
You don't
problem.
have to come up.
That's okay.
Are you ever going to file a written explanation of refunds? Oh, I'm sorry, that's the second one.
That's the next one.
Okay, sorry, Mayor.
That's okay. It is just the lateness of it.
Can I just say one thing, before we move to the corporation violation? Mr. Chair was kind enough to discuss this with me a little bit this morning, because I'm the kid late to the movies. I did get copies of the minutes, thanks to that clerk. Mr. President and I talked twice, and it was very nice to also be able to discuss this with our learned attorney, Ethan Lowe. The lateness of the report, along with what's coming up, scares me. And the reason it scares me is I've been writing on the wages for 15 years about now, and no one's ever sued me. And I always felt that I would be subject to failure to perform my duties. And while I was gone, I did take a look at the penalties for failure to perform your duties as a precinct committeeman, public official, board member. It's classified a little differently now, but I gotta tell you what it is. It's a Class D felony. Okay? All it takes is a prosecutor to decide that. All it takes. And all it takes is a little bit of a political bent, and you could be on the receiving end of that. It didn't make headlines and all that, but it also made you like, I think we're overpaid. We get a whopping $2,000 a year. So, I just want you to know that I respect everybody on the board. However, even Lowe's position, I think, is an interesting position on one hand. Mr. President is trying to find a middle ground, and the Hobson's choice are find everybody automatically without thinking. That gets rid of our problems. Let's let them hire private attorneys to set aside the fines. Okay, so we screwed up, we didn't do proper notice, we didn't send things out, but we sent the message. The other side of this is to do it correctly, step by step, and as Ethan Lowe points out to me legally, there's a lot to be done that has never been done in the last 15 years. How long? We have no prescribed forms, we have no charging affidavits, we have no standard procedures. No one has been educated on this funny act called the Administrative Regulations, Rules and Regulations of OPA. This takes a lot of work. So I'm encouraging the board to consider this. Rather than do everything the right way on these fining figures, and perhaps Ethan Lowe will suggest to you what he suggested to me, which sounds really interesting. If anybody out there over the last 40 years is going to raise a legal defense, well, this is the way it's always been done, no one's ever been fined. And let's have this board send out a final warning that everybody is listed on the campaign reports, the treasurer especially, and copies to the candidate, that we on this day are going to revisit this issue. You will be asked to come here for a defined violation. You were notified. If you weren't notified before, guess what? You're notified now. And don't bother raising the issue. This is the way it's always been done. I suggest that to you, Mr. President. Ethan suggested it as a certain step that ought to be taken to clean out all that deadwood out there that's saying, well, I never got notice. You never did it before. It'll be like a final warning, and then it'll be a fight between us. But I suggest that the word shall is in the statute.
not to defend Porter County, but I'm going to. There are 92 counties. And this was the Republican representative, and this is from speaking with Leslie, the Democrat representative. It's all over the board. That's how people do it. Porter County's not alone on the way they did it for the last, God knows, 40 years. I mean, no one remembers when there's been a fine. That's how long it's been. And there's some counties that refuse to even follow the statute. As Jeff said last time, he's like, look, they're my candidates, but you know what, I'm not gonna defend them. If they don't do it, they don't do it. Okay, that's normal, but at the same time, like Jay said, I mean, you gotta give them a chance to know that this is coming, and you know what? Game's over. You know, we played this game of, we're not gonna do anything, we told, we warned you, we sent out notices, we sent, every type of warning possible, I think, that in the past, even prior council, I mean, this is all, everybody's been aware of it, but they've never put their foot down. And I think it's time. I mean, we can't ignore the statute. We tried to clean up a lot of things that previous boards have not done. We tried to make it a more formal process. I think that's been the effort all along, to make sure everybody's on the same page and we're all doing it the right way. So I would agree. I think that's part of the process we should do, is send out a notice telling everyone that this is it. We're gonna start following the statute. This is the process. You gotta timely file it. We have primary filing, financing statements gonna be due here shortly. They're gonna need to do that, plus the ones they didn't do their annual. We got, some candidates never file. And, I mean, we're not talking minor positions, but major candidates. And, part of me doesn't, I don't blame them, because nothing's ever happened. We haven't done anything to make them do it. So I get that, but I think we do have to tell them this is it. Game's over, we have your funds now, it's time to do it. I would request the other part of that is when we put together this notice, I think it should be reviewed by the board, approved by the board before it's sent out, as well as the procedure needs to be reviewed again to make sure that we're posting properly of where the registrations go. We can't have the monthly filing, there's supposed to be notice published there. Make sure we're following all the steps, so that when we start this, when we start going down this path, that we are doing it correctly, we're treating it properly, even in the right way. But that's my stance, I agree, I think.
And if you're in agreement, I mean, I'll take a draft and putting together the letter as well as an outline of the steps that then moving forward will be followed in terms of posting the
Yeah,
notice and
what's the
those
fine,
steps, yeah.
because there's this, first time, it's just a lesser amount fine per day. Your second time, it starts to increase, it's a cap. So I mean, we need to lay all that out so everybody's clear that this is what's going to happen. So that way all the candidates know, we're not playing around. This is the rule, this is the law. It's time to start following.
And not to get us too far off track, but to the extent that we do move towards imposing these fines and collecting these fines, there are some statutory procedures as to how those and what accounts those are supposed to go in, so we do need to do some homework on that end as well.
And as well as the AOPA, I mean, we're going to have to,
Right.
I would suggest to the board that we might appoint you as the hearing officer to recommend to the three-member board, if we're not going to be the candidates, if it gets to that stage. But I thought Patty was
filings as opposed to defective filings. And I think that if I was understanding, Jay, what you and David are saying, you're speaking more to the late filings.
Exactly, because you're gonna wind up with softballs. In other words, I don't think we gotta drill down, because we're not talking about CPAs. Unless the person's running a car. But, on the other hand, I'm thinking late, I'm thinking of,
But I think going
Gross.
forward, I think the fact that it's gonna fall into the
yes.
same category.
And
there's no
we
reason
might have to
adjust
beef
them
up the
out.
staff. But that'll be, I think Ethan will report to us and say, we don't have the horses to run with here on the defective plans. You know what I'm getting at?
Yeah.
We might have to hire
That means, look, you know,
You're picking and choosing. You can't pick and choose.
Late
I agree with that, Derek.
Late is late.
Okay. This,
But
now you're picking and choosing what you're going to.
No, I don't.
No,
think-
you're not picking and choosing, you're getting started. What you're saying is the candle isn't worth the light.
That's,
I'm
I did not
saying-
say that. I was stating, and maybe you're misunderstanding my point, of who is going to review these and who is going to decide. We have already been told by voters registration, they do not have the time. So we have to look at the full picture and not just part of it. So what is your suggestion?
You count days, it's called lateness. And you have, here's the statute, by the way, take a look at page 2. And you'll see that lateness has a separate subdivision. And it doesn't take a lot of brains to count 23 days. That's a violation.
But we also should throw in there too, is the defective file.
Exactly, if you got a
We're
smart
gonna go over, exactly, we're gonna, and I think that's the question she's
That's,
asking.
if I may say, I agree 100% with the latest. I think you're going down the right path, no problem with it. Then what will happen is what I think Dave was getting alluded to, I can file a report that is very defective. As a matter of fact, it was recommended that we do that. It was recommended to us to file a defective report so it was in on time, which I did not, personally, I did not want to do. Okay? And I could have filed a defective report and had it done. Then the next step becomes if candidates start doing filing defective reports just to get it in on time, are you then ready, and I think this is Karen's point, are you then ready to take it to the next step, which is hiring staff? Because if you look downstate, they have financial staff that does nothing but review these reports for their accuracy. But now, the state is also taking it one step further, which I think the board needs to look at also. They have actually now have a Excel spreadsheet program that you can load the data into, and it automatically uploads the report, which lessens the responsibility, difficulty of doing the reports for state candidates. They do not make that available to county candidates. That's something, if you wanted to go forward to the defective report, you may look at something like, instituting something like that on a county basis to make it easier for the local candidates to look at that. Then the other thing is, maybe the election board ought to start putting on training sessions to train the local treasurers of these committees and stuff, how to fill out these reports. Because if you go downstate and sit with the finance people down there, they will sit with you for hours on end to help train you to do the best job possible.
Bernard, I think that's great, and if I could just have 1 second. I can remember with our workers at the polls, I forgot, they were falling out, something was wrong on election. So we went to our house university here, and we went to the political science department, and a professor volunteered his time and his graduate students. And we had them authorized to go inside the polls with an exiting. And what it showed us was a little communication went a long way. Thank you, something else. It's sort of like a Starbucks approach to life. We added that to the training. I hope we still do it when we meet with the workers to say thank you. Thank you for voting, and there's a sticker you put on you and all that. Well, if we did that with the CPAs over here, they could get credit part-time for on-the-job training. We could bring over their CPA team in mass, take over that back room, and start running those reports. If there's only less than 100, let's say there's less than 100, is that about right? 20 graduate students would go through that in half a day. For free.
Well, yeah, I somewhat agree and somewhat disagree. One of the reason I say that is when you start getting into the reports, as we'll get into in a little bit later, the designation of what is a corporation, what is not a corporation designation, of which page it should occur on and like that, is you really got to get into election law to understand. And sometimes backtracking and finding that information out is difficult.
Yes, sir.
Because even if you go to the state website, you find that it's listed as a corporation, you talk to the individual, and it's a sole proprietorship corporation, which is different than a non-sole proprietorship corporation. You get into the corporation again, you get into sub S, which gets reported as an individual tax thing, but then it doesn't get treated the same as an LLC, which gets as a individual tax thing. It's lumped in with the other corporation. So there's a lot of nuances that I think, while you're correct, I think they could very well be an arm to help. They're gonna have to be trained by the people downstate as to how they get into looking at those classifications.
Don't you think it's a natural, our own university?
I don't disagree with you at all. I agree, but again, you've gotta look at it sounds simple, but then when you get into the nuances of it, it makes it a little bit more difficult than normal.
My suggestion, let's start.
I agree with you, but as Karen pointed out, you are opening up potential other doors. So just be prepared in the future.
The other issue too, on the perspective part, I mean, the other parties are looking at each other. I mean, there's going to be a complaint filed if somebody catches a defective file. So I mean, there's another set of eyes that's gonna come to the attention of the board. And if I'm looking at, he's gonna look at the Republicans, and the Republicans are gonna look at the Democrats, and they're gonna try to poke something at each other. And I think there's a layer of auditing right there. So we'll try to do the best we can to get it.
Mr. Chairman, I fill out the political reports for the Ironworkers PAC. We have a statewide PAC and also with the local union. I also do it with the IRS, and I have to turn those in. Kennard has a point. When you do something with the state, you have required fields. It has an asterisk. It's in red or something like this. You know, we're spending money on voting machines and things like that. Why don't we spend money on putting a website where you can go as a candidate to the Porter County website, Voters Registration Office, click on the tab that says CFA 4 or whatever form you want to fill out. Click on that, and it'll tell you, you set it up right, it'll tell you, you have to fill out this field. And you cannot submit that report unless that field has been filled out. So that would go a long way in clarifying a lot of the defective parts.
Excellent. That's what I was talking to about, what, as he pointed out. It's, in the state, it makes it much easier. And I agree that we ought to look at doing something like that within the county. You know, and there is, in my discussions with the state, there is local vendors that will do that for you, but they said they're very expensive.
Yeah. But you can do it yourself, and you, to make your lives easier, you can set this up. You have to pay someone that has that website capability and setting those forms up.
Yeah, and that's what I was worried, the state, I would think the state may do that too.
You would think they would do it for all the counties, but unfortunately, it's just on the Secretary of State's website.
And
So
it's only,
Yeah.
and they will, and I asked them about that, and they said, no, it's only for state candidates, we're not making it available for county. Now, can you get the state legislators to put some pressure on them, that's a different story.
That's right.
Yeah, I agree.
Good luck.
But that would be a great option, because it's still, you know, you can't.
Click on whatever
You
form
can't,
you want.
you can't advance until you get it right.
That's right.
So, well, I think we should at least take the first step, the latest, giving up the news, and starting that part. And then we can move on to the next step. And I think that should be part of the notice.
No, thank you.
I guess my question is this, because I think the code says we have to give notification in writing. We have to post it, we have to make it available for public inspection, and then we need to mail notification to the candidate. So, is that going to be part of it?
Absolutely, because that's the portion of the job.
One thing I would recommend, and this came out of some hearings downstate, that you not only notify the candidate, but you notify the treasurer, because, and it's important to notify both parties, because in some cases, I know, reading over the state election board meetings on this subject, treasurers have moved and mail it to the home addresses, if you have the home addresses, because sometimes what happens is candidates have disbanded a committee or thought they disbanded the committee, and they actually didn't, and it was going to a non-existent P.O. box or an address that no longer was valid. So that's a very, maybe that you require a signature so that you know that the person got it.
Well, it should be on the report too.
It may or may not, depending on the age of the report, and, if somebody is moved, did they change the report or not? The forms, they may not have.
There's candidates that don't even know that you're supposed to file a report when you change treasurers,
Exactly.
So.
So I think it's, to cover all the bases to make, so that you make sure you got the maximum number of potential people showing up.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I agree. And I thought this got carried over. I think we have to notify more anyway.
That's the way I read it.
That's what I thought too. So if we get to that point, that's our process. All right. Anything else? We'll put together a process. Okay.
Very good.
Now, number two.
Okay, basically.
The current one we're dealing with now.
Okay. Basically, the comments that you made last month, I took it to heart. The difference between the misdemeanor type report, the late filing, and the misleading of the public and all powers that be, was a felony. We cited Sheriff Reynolds' report and versus the late filing of the mayor's report. So I basically said, listen, felonies probably should be the ones that we should probably focus in on if we're gonna take it on a priority basis. I was hoping that we'd look at the misdemeanor scenario, but I understood that it was kind of a victimless crime, so to speak, where these are a little bit more serious. So I looked at the report, and as I stated to you in my request or my complaint, I found a number of discrepancies that I felt were egregious, and I gave some suggestions on what I thought would go ahead and remedy this situation. I understand Kennard's point about the LLCs and entities, sole proprietor and things like that. But I do believe that when you are raising that kind of money and asking for that kind of money, it's your due diligence as a candidate or a candidate's treasurer to ask that person, not just track it down on the website, but ask that person, how are you filed? How do you want me to file this under? Okay? So that way you can get it right, and it puts you as a candidate and also as a treasurer signing these reports in a less harmful way. So my suggestions are valid. I'm hoping that you take them to heart. I'd like to see, at least at a minimum, some kind of proof on payment back to the people that donated over the dollar amounts that were allowed. And I think they need to show that to you as the election board, and then you guys can then make it public from there, and we'll kind of go from there.
Yeah, first of all, I'm glad we made it so easy for this complaint to be filed. That we did have all the information recorded. And that we did, at the time, record and show, if you want to look at the second page of this, that we intended to repay the funds that we found were in excess. We have begun that process, and we did that process, and I want to tell you what we're doing in that process. Basically, we are hand delivering checks. Well, like that example I showed you there, Circle R. I hand delivered a check to them to explain why they were receiving the check back. They gave a contribution to a round table that the mayor has. And then they wanted to sponsor a team in the golf outing. Well, they did not think the team in the golf outing was a contribution to the campaign. And they didn't realize that was going to kick them over the $2,000 limit. So I sat down and explained it to them as I gave them back the check. And that's what we're doing with this, is to provide, we're returning each check and providing each of the people that gave us the excess amount of money an explanation of why and how it occurred, so that they then are aware of this in the future. Our report that will be filed is a primary report, because those are expenses are occurring in this year before the primary. Our primary report will show all of the checks and all of the amounts that we have returned in each one of those individuals.
Which will bring you down to the 2,000.
Which will go. Yes, it'll bring us down to 2,000 limit for those corporations, yes.
And then, this is a question that.
And I will tell you, I've not been able to return all the checks. I've returned a bunch of them, and I've cut the rest of them, so that we can get those returned as soon as I get together with the individuals. And that's our intent, is to provide education to them as well as returning the money, because we don't want them to get in other troubles.
Here's the question I had, I think me and Jay discussed this earlier, is because the excess donation was in 2014, the refund is in 2015. The notation for the refund will have to occur on the finance statement for 2015, because you can't go back and amend 2014 because they received it.
Because you're gonna have a footnote like explaining.
Oh, yeah, if you look at the expense column, your expenditure column, there is a purpose for the expenditure. It will show Circle R received a check dated this date for $800. The purpose of that, transaction was refund of excess contribution. Yes. And as a matter of fact, I can show you one of the checks. That's the memo that's written on the check also. The memo.
Those are nice guys.
We're trying, I'm trying, have been involved in this, I know a lot of these are smaller corporations and stuff, and they don't understand this. We had a treasurer that didn't understand it, we got in trouble. That's the media trouble, we're trying to straighten out, and help the businesses along the way.
And all of that will be the public record.
All of that will be public
filed.
record. Yes, that will all be part of public record.
When does that due?
That is due April 14th or 7th. I think the closing date is the 7th, the report's due the 14th, somewhere in that date.
17th.
Kathy, what day is
The
it?
17th, that reporting period ends April 10th. Reports are due by noon on the 17th.
So April 17th.
Yeah.
For the deadline.
Yep. And it will be in those reports. When we found out about it, the other thing we did is we also switched banks, so that we could have a clean bank with the campaign committee, and if there's a couple weeks to get checks printed and all that stuff. But we're in the process, have been in the process since the 5th of March, is when we started returning the checks. That will be part of the public record.
Now, we had a couple other things that were listed in the complaint as well.
with regards to the LLC?
Well, you have the overage, the excessive donations, which they're gonna return, or have started returning. But then there's also the third item was the mutual addresses.
Yeah, everything under the ready spray liners.
Right.
Yeah, I just think that just sends a signal or is confusing to anyone that they're trying to circumvent the limit by breaking it down into, separate entities, all under the same address.
And my response is, corporate entity is a legal entity, and the example I would use to make it as easy to understand is General Motors. General Motors, underneath that umbrella is, well, it used to be Pontiac, Oldsmobile, Cadillac, Chevrolet. They're all multiple corporate entities, and under the statute, all those entities could easily get $2,000 each, because they are separate. And they all have the same address if you actually look them up and issue. They're all Detroit.
And Mr. Chairman, I'm just looking for them to disclose how they,
But that would be, what I'm getting at is, is that the complaint would be directed at Ready's freight line. It wouldn't be the campaign, because you can have multiple corporations that have the same address. And then holding companies do it all the time, banks do it. There's several different industries that do that. I understand what you're saying, it does look fishy, but you can have multiple corporations existing within the same building. I mean, that's perfectly legal, there's nothing wrong with that. And each of those legal entities would be able to give the corporate limit.
looking for disclosure, that's
I
that's what I'm mostly looking for.
I know what you're saying, but I just wanted to point that out to you, that there's nothing wrong.
And I just want to point clarification on the previous. In other words, you can raise money and get more than I'm allowed to get from a donor in 1 year, spend it all, and then go back the next year, raise more money, and then pay it back.
You know, and I looked it up, when this issue came up on excess donations, the penalty is against the donor.
And I understand that.
The campaign, yes, they should be doing a courtesy for their donors to monitor what is coming in, but it's actually the responsibility of the limit is against the donor.
And, to address that has occurred, and we have taken steps to make sure that does not occur this year. Okay? That occurred last year before I got involved in the campaign and involved with helping out with the records. And I've instituted a series of policies that hopefully will prevent that from occurring this year, or if it does occur, I will know within a week or two of that occurrence and will immediately reissue it. It only occurred because we were catching up the back records and getting that done. That's why it was a lot of things to do.
I mean, to give you an example that when we talked to the state, he goes, you're lucky in this case, the campaign has any money to return. Like you said, I mean, what if the campaign raised the money for last year's election, blew it all? Now you got a campaign that should refund the money, they don't have any money to refund. And it's a candidate loss. And so they're not gonna go forward again, they're not gonna raise money again, and there isn't a penalty against the campaign. The penalty is you return the excess proceeds. But if you have no funds to return, there's no way to collect. I mean, it didn't be. But that's what the penalty, if you look at the statute, is against the donor. They're not supposed to exceed the dollar.
And that's part of the reason why I'm hand delivering the checks, is because most of these people did not even realize that they had those kind of limits and stuff, and they didn't realize that it occurred. So we wanted to give them the information so that we can help them prevent that from occurring in the future too. So we're hope that we move beyond the tit for tat on these finance reports. I'd really like to see us move on to the serious issues of what is the candidate going to do for the future, and what is the candidate done in their record as far as serving in office. That's where the real debate should be.
I tend to agree with the caveat that we're also looking at candidates for transparency and ethical behavior. And this basically addresses that issue, these campaign finance reports.
And we were, I mean, we made it easy. We actually went way further than we needed to. Technically, if you get under $100 or you spend under $100 in any one location, you don't have to report it. We tried to make sure that we reported every penny as close as we could. We talked to some of these corporations to try to find out which classification they were. Some of them we had to rely upon the Secretary of State's website. Some of them we talked to. We made a couple of errors. I'll be quite honest with you. All law firms were the same, and I now have found out they're not. So, like the Hodges and Davis that was prominent was returning their check because LLP, this is what I got into good trouble to say, an LLP is different than a PC, even though they're all lawyers. And probably you guys know because you're lawyers, and I'm not. Legal entities. You know, so that's why they ended up in the other and not in the corporation. It will be the corporation in the future, that's for sure. But that's you know, and a SEBAS versus a partnership, you know, you can be an incorporated, and one of the other ones was a towing company. It's a sole proprietorship. So therefore, they're classified as another, even though it's incorporated. And so it really gets into, you know, you call them up and say, what are you and how you file your taxes, as for some guidance, and then you do the best you can, and hopefully it works out.
Beat and low, that's all the answers on that.
Okay.
He's a legal people.
Well, I would recommend then to resolve the complaint is they have to file a primary finance report indicating the excess being refunded so that it meets the limits of those zones.
No problem.
That would be my recommendation. If they fail to do so, then the board will.
Fail to do so, then you sign up that deal. Let's get on with the real issues.
All right. We'll expect the new report.
We'll see.
All right. Next item. Ethan, you have the finance report notices and sale reports that we did previously, we had mentioned before. In light of the notice that we're going to be sending out, I think those will have to be changed. regular location.
Make a motion.
Can I ask, when I look at the statute on this, the clerk gets one pick. Everything beyond that one pick has to be by unanimous vote, correct? Am I right? Is this part of the unanimous vote, or is this the clerk's pick?
This is a part of it, so because it's not a clerk office.
Got it. Thank you.
So it has to be by unanimous vote to use 3309 in this building as the operating location.
I'm sorry.
Because JJ, the statute that you're referencing there says further that it has to be in a location where the clerks maintain an office with clerk, so that is
Thank
very
you.
important.
So is this something we've used before, Madam Clerk? Is this the same? No, three oh nine?
No, 309 is upstairs. I think it's got.
It's that room we had a meeting in last year.
No,
Inspection board
no.
meeting.
The one that was the assessor's old office.
Yeah, it's a larger room. 307 was the one that the election board made expanded last year.
That was for assessment.
Is there a reason why we're moving it outside of voter registration, where it has always been in this building?
I don't want to do voter registration.
I mean, outside the hallway.
I don't want to do voter registration. I don't want those offices close to the voters. I want to check. So I'll just tell you right now, I'm going to vote no.
Same here.
And that's why. I mean, I think it's best. So, so as a compromise, room 309 is what the commissioners offered, and you can use in this building if you want to. So, I would make a proposal that room 309,
I made the motion.
so just take a vote.
You second.
I'm a second. Okay, what do you think?
I don't know enough about it, so I'm hoping everything is in good faith.
Well, we use it as a really well.
Yeah. And there's, you don't know of any hassle, people going in and out, doing any bad.
I don't think there's anybody using it currently.
No issues.
I think it's great. Yeah, so I mean, it's for our disposal.
Can I ask one last question? Is it accessible or is it disabled?
Well, you big deal.
It's well, it's here. It's built. So we have, we need to do this every day, so. We can count on that, so.
So I would vote yea. From 309.
I would yea as well. Room 309, the answer will be moved operating location. Madam Clerk, do you want to make your election for your other office as that one?
It's not necessary. We've always had Portage, unless there's an issue with Portage.
So do you want? so
I make a motion that Portage, as we've always had it.
And that's gonna be the clerk's office or the health department? Or
It's not the
lieutenant?
clerk's office for a ton of
Lieutenant. We have to identify that.
and it's not redesignated.
Okay.
Is
So,
there a
well,
second?
I'll make a second motion to, for the
Yay.
rotunda and the Portage.
Yeah.
The William Street Williams House.
So I would vote yea.
Yea, no.
Yes.
So Portage. Willow Creek. The next location would be Chesterton at the City Hall.
Same place.
Same location.
Can I just ask, how did that work out?
I think it was no complaint. Yeah, I think, I think everything was okay. Any complaints for City Hall in Chesterton?
No.
Motion.
Second.
Yea.
Yay on the motion, approving it
Yes.
for Chesterton City Hall. That's all I have.
I'd like to try a motion.
Eager? I'm not gonna second.
Seems to be deafening silence out there on the motion.
Anything? Any other locations? there a way, Kathy, to do that and still do it at a time when the finance report will be submitted, so we can review that at the same time?
The same day as, there's not a problem.
Can we do certification of machines when, because you said 17th is the deadline,
At noon,
so why can't we have a meeting on the 17th at 3 p.m.? That way we can review his report, the finance report from Mr. Snyder, and do certification of machines all at the same time.
well, we wouldn't lump Mr. Snyder's report with it just coming in on that day at noon, so, but the machines and your meeting and that,
But I
yeah.
mean, it should be filed by noon, so we should have it.
You will have it before the 17th, so you can review it beforehand. I will work to see if I can stop.
So we can do machines all at once.